Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Graham Hutchings. I'm the Managing Director at Oxford Analytica, and it is my privilege and pleasure to moderate this high-level opening plenary, in which capacity I have a couple of remarks having to do with both the lineup this morning and with the issue of timing. As far as the former is concerned, I'm sorry to say that Albert Ramdin of the Organization of American States is indisposed and cannot be with us this morning, which explains the empty chair. The second issue on the lineup side is that the Deputy Executive Director of the World Food Programme, as we speak, is negotiating Brussels traffic from the airport to here. I do beg your pardon. And he beat me to it once again, so I'm delighted to say he successfully negotiated that. I was about to commend one of his colleagues, Tony Craig, who kept the seat warm for him. But Tony gets off lightly, and Mr. Abdullah has to do the work. Now, on the timing side, I regret to say we're going to have to conclude this session about 10 minutes earlier, and my message to the moderators of round tables A and round tables B that follow this opening plenary is the same. Would you kindly bring the proceedings to a close 10 minutes earlier than scheduled? We'll do the same for the coffee break and compress that. And the reason for this is to accommodate the schedule of the High Representative, Lady Ashton, who is coming here at 12:30 in a very hectic schedule. She's made time for us. We're very grateful for that, and we want to make sure we have some space for her to deliver her remarks on this important occasion. What we're going to do after I've introduced the speakers and they have made their remarks is have a conversation. That will be a conversation confined to those of us on the stage. The round tables that follow will be very much more interactive with you, the audience. If you're bursting at the seams to raise any questions arising from this session, then I'm sure the speakers will be more than willing to entertain those during the gaps in the conference program. The proceedings this morning will take place according to Chatham House rules, which many of you will be familiar with. It's simply that whilst the content can be reported that arises from this session, neither those responsible for it nor the identification of the place and the context is permitted. So that is by way of formality, and let me then move to some of the more substantive elements. Crises and catastrophes do not respect frontiers. They do not respect spatial frontiers, temporal frontiers. They are no respecters of culture and context, of wealth, status, and gender. They are genuinely international. We have got used in the last few decades to a global manufacturing industry, a global financial industry, global tourism, and the like. What I submit we have not yet got used to is a global industry or practice of crises detection, of crises analysis, crises monitoring, and most importantly, crisis response. And these are the themes that we want to inform this opening session this morning, and indeed the rest of the day and tomorrow. How we might get to the analog of this globalization that we've seen in so many other spheres of our life in the business of dealing with the world's trouble spots effectively, communally, and lastingly. To help us do that, as you'll see from your program, we do have a very distinguished lineup this morning, drawing on experience from the EU crisis room right here in the city in which we are holding our deliberations, extending through to the experience of South Korea. We have Deputy Foreign Minister Shin Dok-ing with us. We also have the experience of the Arab League in the person of Haifa Abu Ghazaleh, and we then have the NGO perspective from Madam Christine Burley, and finally a consideration from the perspective of the World Food Programme in the person of the just arrived Anna Abdullah. I'm going to ask them to speak in that order, beginning with Agostina Miozzo. They will come to the podium, deliver the remarks, and then we will hold our conversation. And I'd like to, on that note, welcome the first speaker.